So part 3 of doing a preliminary floor plan layout is really starting to get the actual dimensions squared away. So right here, through this process, we've come up with a pretty good layout, something that we can definitely work with. So at this point, I want to know a couple different things. I want to know the actual sizes, and I want to know what the actual square footage is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to annotate, and whenever I do this, I'm going to go ahead and leave it on a high scale of 1.5 inch equals a foot, and I'm going to click on my annotate tab, and I'm going to add align dimensions. And whenever I do this, I'm going to choose faces of core, and that's going to give me basically aligned with my stud layer, which would allow my exterior sheathing, my exterior OSB, to stretch down over my rim joist and my sill plate and basically create a drip edge that would run down the foundation. It would also give me the ability to tie together my first and second floor if I had 2 stories, as well as tying together my roof and my wall by overlapping the OSB and tying the entire structure together that way. So I'm going to choose that, zoom out, zoom in, and drop it out there. I'll do the same thing on all 4 sides. After I've gone through and added all the dimensions, I've done basically my offset dimensions and my overall dimensions on 2 sides. Now I can bump my scale back up to something like 1/4 inch so I can actually see my text. If I wanted to, I could drop it down all the way to 1/8, which is going to make the text look bigger. So at this point, I can go through and I can start doing some sizing. So these are very oddball dimensions because I wasn't really worried about it whenever I was doing the layout. I didn't want it to restrict me as far as my layout. So what I want to do right now is I know that this structure is going to have a concrete block foundation. So I'm going to be designing for modular dimensions with concrete blocks or CMUs. So just a real quick refresher, I have designing with modular dimensions in mind. For CMUs, if I have even feet, I need to have the inches end in 0 or 8 inches. If I have odd feet, I need to end in 4 inches. For framing lumber and sheathing, I basically just want to try to hit a 2-foot increment, but even that isn't that big of a deal. My main concern is designing for modular dimensions for CMUs. So with that in mind, I can look at this and basically I have a decision to make for each one of these. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start on one side and work my way through. I don't want to start in the middle because I'm basically going to be changing the other dimensions as I go. So if I want to change the location of a wall or the dimension of a wall, I need to select the wall to do that. I'm going to start at this corner and work my way over. So right now and actually I'm going to move this one since I have all of this referenced. I'm going to click that and I'm going to change this. It's very close to 21 feet 4. So I'm going to change this to 21 feet 4 inches, and that is now modular. Then I'm going to choose this wall because I know that the dimension from there to there, I can't change this one because it's going to mess up that dimension. So I'm going to choose this one. I'm going to make that 8 feet. And then this one right here out front, I'm going to change it from 23.11 to 24 feet. So now that right there is all modular. And if I would look at my complete overall, which actually should be right there, 53 feet 4 inches is modular. So I'll just work my way around the building. So again, I'm going to start at this corner and work my way down. I'm going to make this, right now is 24 feet 4, so I'm going to go ahead and make this 24 feet. Get rid of the inches. That'll bump that way a little bit. And then I can choose the next offset wall. Right now it's 20 feet 5, so my choice is I can either make it 20 feet 0 or 20 feet 8. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try 20 feet, see what it does. I can see that's still 11 feet 8 from center to center of the wall, so it's a half decent sized bedroom. I can always bump this way a little bit as well. So I'm going to leave that at 20 feet. Alright, that side is now modular. You can see by the overall dimension as well as the offset dimensions. So the next one would be this wall. I'm going to start at this corner, work this way. It's very close to 14 feet. It's a little bit big for a bedroom. I'm going to try to take this down to 13 foot 4 and see what that does for me. Now I'd end up having to move these as well, which I could basically, for this preliminary, just grab these and kind of bump them over and drag this up here, and then I can use my align tool to align the two walls. I can lock them in place. Alright, so this is modular now, and this one right here, if I click on this wall, it's 30 feet 4 inches. So I don't have much room to lose here. I don't have much room to lose here. This, I could probably take this living room a little bit smaller. Right now my living room is about 16 feet. I'm going to go ahead and bump this out to 30 feet 8 inches. The next one, 6 feet 10. So I don't have a tremendous amount of extra room there, but I think I can lose 2 inches off of this. So I'll make this one 6 foot 8. And what I just did whenever I did that is I changed my overall and I changed that one, so I cannot move that wall. So I'm missing one, and this was my mistake. I'm missing this little offset right here. So I'm going to highlight this edit witness line, and I'm going to add that one. I'm going to go back and I'm going to kind of start at the beginning again. This 2 foot 5, it's not very much of an offset. I have a 13 foot 4 bedroom. I'm going to bump this up to 2 foot 8. 2 foot 8. That's going to change this dimension. I'm going to make that 12 feet 8. Pull that way a little bit. This is going to end up being, make it 30 feet 8 inches. Still have a decent sized living room. And then this wall is fixed because to keep that modular I have to keep that fixed. So this one automatically becomes modular. So right now I have 3 of the 4 sides done. So I could start with this right here. I could start up at this end. Basically to do, I don't want to move this wall because this is correct, so I'm going to click on here and I'm going to make this just a little bit bigger, this room a little bit bigger, so I'm going to make this dimension a little bit smaller. I'm going to make this 15 feet 4 inches. This needs to change as well, so I'm going to make this slightly bigger. I'm going to go 6 feet 8 inches with that one. Give me a little bit more room in my dining room and kitchen. And I'm going to leave this where it is because it's being referenced here. I'm going to click on this one and I'm going to make this 15 feet 4 inches. And then this would be the next one. and I'm going to make it, try 16 feet. I think I have a little bit of room to bump these this way. Still have a pretty good hallway through here, or implied hallway. And then the last one automatically fixes itself because this wall was worked out in this side. So now I have all four sides completely modular. Once I have that done, I can go through and I'll leave that in for right now. I can go through and find out my area. I have a lot of interior walls that need adjusted. I have a lot of different things that need fixed up, but I can get a real good idea of how much area and where I need to take away, if I need to take away, if I'm shooting for a 2,000 square foot. Now, I'm not going to count the garage in this space, so what I'm really trying to do is trying to hit close to 1,000 square feet in this area right here. So I'm going to go to my architecture tab. I'm going to click on the area plan. It asks me if I want rentable space or gross. So the building inspector is going, and actually the financing is going to be based on the gross. And then I'm going to choose the first floor. I say OK. It's basically asking me if I want it to automatically create boundaries. Yes, I do, even though I'm going to have to modify them slightly. So I can click on area boundary, and I can choose this wall. And I should be able to use my fillet to clean these up a little bit. And delete that one, delete that one, delete this one, fillet these two together. And you can see my area is at 1161 right now. So it's a little bit on the big side. So a couple different things I could do. I could start modifying right in here if I wanted to. If I brought all these things in, now whenever I'm moving things, if I'm moving exterior walls, I'm going to move them in increments of 8 inches so that I don't have to fix my modular dimensions again. I'll move those all in 8. Still doable. I can bump these this way a little bit. Still have a decent access through there. I could probably take this couch back, probably take all these things back a little bit. And maybe I take this wall and move it. We'll start out with 1'4". See if I can do that. 1'4" gives me down to 1120 at this point. If I wanted to, I think I have a little bit of room here. I'm going to make this 8 feet long and bump these bar stools down a little bit. Maybe this hutch and this wall. Move down, try 8 inches. 8 inches. Now I'm down to 1106. Don't think I want to move this bedroom much more than it already is. This is really about the biggest size, or the smallest size that I want it to be for this layout. I might be able to lose a little bit in this laundry area. Probably end up putting a pocket door in here. So I could probably bump this down eight inches. I don't think it's going to gain me much on my square footage though. Five square feet, probably not even worth moving. I have a little bit of space in here where I could basically take this wall This wall, all the furniture associated with it. I think I could move this whole thing probably 1'4", maybe even 2 feet. I'll try 2 feet. I still have a little bit of an offset there. The entryway is getting pretty small at this point, but it's still doable. All of a sudden these walls could almost line up. So I'm down to 1080, so it's getting closer and closer. I might be able to whittle a little bit away more here and there, but basically this is what I'm going to be left with. I'm not going to be able to get it down much further because I don't have the space to lose. And that's basically how we go through and do the design refinement. And if I look at my first floor plan, the dimensions, now these are permanent dimensions. I can leave those on there, and you can see that everything is now modular. So I have a real good layout in a matter of an hour.